ready to go on Zoom?
Yeah, I'm already there. Dr. Francis is there.
Okay.
I want you to control it, okay? Because I got a couple of things I got to do.
Did you print out the agenda yet?
Everything is there, baby.
Okay, so you want to let them in?
Yes.
Okay, I'm coming.
All right.
Hello,
Dr. Palmer, how you doing, sir?
James. How are you?
You're doing just fine. I don't see your video, your
Well,
picture.
let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Here
Yeah,
we
look
are.
at that handsome guy. Look at that handsome guy. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
On as well. If I can get to it, let's see. There we go. So I'm in my Texas home. I mean, not Texas, California home today. Michelle is back in our Texas home, so she'll be joining us shortly.
Well, that's nice.
Now, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Look, I love San Diego. You're in San Diego?
Yes, well, Temecula, but yes.
Temecula. Yeah, I remember when Temecula, there was nothing there.
Temecula is probably the best kept secret.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. What state are you in, sir?
I'm in Santa Monica.
Oh, you're in Santa Monica. So you're in
Yeah, no,
California?
I grew up in Philadelphia and went to, and we can talk about this on the air. I think it's nice that somebody actually wants to know my background.
Did you get the questions?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think that's genius to do it that way. That way I don't have to keep leading everything back. I think it's brilliant.
But let me say this now. I'm gonna throw a little wrench in there. That's just an outline that we go by, as because I like to have conversations that.
Yeah, we can go anywhere you want. It's not my first rodeo, and so that's perfect. We can do whatever it is you want.
Dr. Phil, you've been on every national show around. I'm just appreciative that you gave a little guy like me an opportunity to.
Oh, please, look, it's my pleasure to be here, and so we'll have fun. That's what. So I did development deal with Montel Williams he was going to make me the next Dr. Phil. He had a contract with Paramount. Great guy, great guy. I can't say enough about him. And I would be nervous. I'd go on his show all the time. And I remember one time I was going and I said to myself, look, I'm not getting paid for this. And I got to fly across the country. So I have to learn how to enjoy this or to not do it anymore. And James, I have to tell you, right after I did that, from then on, any media thing I did, everything went away. I didn't see the cameras. I didn't see anything anymore. All I saw was whoever I was talking to, and we just have a conversation.
And you know what, to be honest with you, sir, that's how I want this to be as well. We don't worry about the cameras. We don't worry about the streaming. We don't worry about, it's just a conversation between you, Michelle, myself, and my producer.
Perfect.
And you can also give out the call-in number, the 1-800 number.
You want me to give it out?
I'm talking about, yes, you can give it out to people if they want to call into the show. This is a live show.
Yeah, I don't know that I have anybody that I can grab a hold of at the minute and call them.
Okay, but we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna put it out there. Hey, how you doing?
Lovely wife. There's the boss. There's the real boss.
Oh yeah, that's the real boss.
So I've been happily married for 35 years, so I know exactly who the boss is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So real quick, funny story about me. Right. I'm one of 5 kids. I'm the only boy. I'm in the middle. So two sisters in front, two behind. And when I met my wife, I said, look, the couple things you need to know about me. 1, I can be trained. And 2, if you want something, make sure you tell me, because I don't see any signals. I don't know how to read anything. If you want something, just tell me you want it.
That is so funny.
Okay, it's a couple of things before, because I'm gonna have to step away for right before we start the show. Hey, Dr. Palmer, the interview is gonna be via phone, not Zoom. So if you had a landline, that'd probably be better. But if you don't, sell that. Zoom is just for us to be able to communicate with each other. Plus, we will have the Zoom video of the show, and I can share that with you if you like afterwards. But when we get ready to start the show, the Zoom volume have to be turned all the way down.
Okay, I'm glad you told me. So I have earbuds. So just so I'm clear, you want to just give me the call-in number?
1-888.
Hold on, let me write it down.
I'll send it to you through chat also.
I'll give it to you. 1-888-344-1170.
344-1170.
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah, I'll just call you on my iPhone with my earbuds in.
Oh yeah. You'll be just fine. So if you want to call into the studio to him, or he gonna call you. I mean, whatever number that you gave Michelle, you took care of that.
Michelle, you can call me. I'll do it however.
I'm talking about the studio. Not
Yes.
Michelle.
Oh, baby, let me go over that with Dr. Palmer. I know you got
Okay,
stuff to
I
do.
gotta do a couple of things for you. But the
Okay.
most important thing is when we get ready, all the Zoom volume had to be turned all the way down. And we're gonna be streaming Facebook Live, Instagram, all of these other type of things. So we good?
We're good.
Good.
All right.
Make it work.
Dr. Palmer, the studio producer, Noah, I gave him the cell number your team provided, which is 310-663-3661. So Noah is going to call you at the top at the hour, or maybe a minute after the hour.
Yeah, sounds good. So what I'll do is, let me see, I'll grab I want to run in the other room real fast and grab the charger so I can make sure the phone's always charged up. Worst
Okay,
thing
no
will
problem.
happen, the iPods will die and I'll have to put it on speaker, but it'll work. All right.
That's
cool.
fine.
All right.
Oh, I need some water.
A little being busy. Stop. I couldn't stop. Okay. Go ahead.
This is a very interesting topic and it's going to be a very interesting show.
Yeah, so it really is. And I have a history developing things for like 2 decades.
Okay.
So it's not like you just didn't fall out of the trees one day and say, oh, I think I'm gonna do this, you know.
On my mom's side of the family, well, we have a lot of doctors. My brother's a pediatrician in Atlanta. My uncle is a pediatrician. My
Wow.
cousin he was an ER doctor. My other cousin, she's a psychologist. So
Wow.
it's a lot
Wow.
of doctors in the family,
Yeah,
but
that's
I didn't go
fantastic.
that way.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, so if we talk about that on the show, it was an interesting story. I started out as a business major in college and was a senior in marketing for when I decided to go to medicine. If you talk about somebody being led down certain pathways, you know, that I've been clearly led down pathways. I completely changed directions. I had to redo my I basically had enough credits at San Diego State for 2 degrees.
Mhm.
One was in marketing and one was in biology, which is pre-med. And then it was one of those things for many, many years that there was no question I was in the right business.
You know, it's interesting. My brother knew when he wanted to be a doctor, and he said when he was about 9 or 10, and you hear that a lot, but he said medical school was rough. It's like,
Yeah,
you know,
it is. And so it's interesting. So in medical school, unlike law school, it's easier to get in, and up to 50% might leave that class. In medical school, it's very difficult to get in. And once you're in, if you lose 1 out of 100 in your class, it's like a big deal. And almost nobody leaves.
It's, he enjoyed it. I mean, most of his friends today are all the people he went through medical school with and did his residency with. I mean, he has childhood friends, of course, but a lot of the friends, I would say a huge percentage is mostly doctors because he's in that field. And it's just interesting. I mean, he went to NYU for undergrad, then went to Rutgers for medical school. But one thing he always said, he said, you know, the lack of sleep, he goes, if you had a serious boyfriend or girlfriend who was not part of the medical school profession, it is hard to keep a relationship. So people always dated people who were like, whether it's a nurse or wanted to be a doctor, because they kind of understood the pressure in each other's schedules.
Yeah, I mean, I trained at County USC, and like, I was a surgical resident there, and I was up all night, all the time. And that's before they made the changes where they limited the number of hours. There was no such thing. I'm not kidding. There were some days I had gurneys lined up for people that I had to sew up whatever was needed to be sewn up. And I never even got done. I just kept going and going and going. I just never got done. Somebody else took over, tag, you're it, you do it now.
Yeah. My cousin, who's the ER doctor, he said that it's tough working in the ER. It's just nonstop. You have to really want to do it.
You have to embrace chaos. And I have a couple stories I tell. We have dinner parties. Some of my friends, and it's funny, most of my friends now at this point are not in medicine, but they were earlier. And it just shows the level of controlled chaos, and you have to push it out of your head. So I believe, and I'm not saying we're like special forces. I think they're like a level above, where you just push everything out of the way, and whatever you need to do is front and center. And I used to have a saying for the people under me when I was a chief resident at USC: desperate times call for desperate measures. That means if death is the outcome, what are you possibly going to do that's going to make it a worse outcome? So you do everything to fix it. And and
you think, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think once you get that in your mind, and I'm not saying that you're not scared, because you are, but it doesn't matter, because you still got to do it.
Yeah, my brother said he loves being a pediatrician because children listen. He didn't want to do adults because they don't listen. I was like, we don't listen. That's true. And nurses are the worst patients, and doctors are the worst patient. I'm the worst patient. I was seeing my orthopod, and he goes, no, we're just going to do this. And I go, no, we're not. No, we're not. We're not going to do that. Of course, I read your bio, looked at the links that your team sent. And it's going to be interesting discussion, especially about the biological age and, you know, the studies, the things that you have come up with. You know, I mean, aging is important from what's in the inside, because what's in the inside really does affect everything on the outside, you know.
Hey, hold that thought for 1 second.
Sure.
So, hey, Jay, let's get ready to go Facebook Live.
Ooh, Facebook Live, Dr. Palmer.
Okay, so you want me to turn the sound down and everything now?
No, we're good. You're okay.
All right.
Hold on. No, we still good. We still good.
No, you don't have to turn it down. Not yet.
Not yet.
Well,
not
I
yet.
take instructions well. You just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 minute, then we go Facebook Live.
Okay.
So actually, Dr. Palmer, once the actual
Let's go Facebook Live now.
radio show starts,
Hold up.
Oh, okay.
Facebook Live. Facebook family. Not yet. Facebook family. Wow. I tell you, we got this absolutely fantastic guest on tonight. We got Dr. Francis Palmer. And what we're going to be talking about, and I'm interested in this, is how do you knock off 10 years of aging and without surgery? Because we know that a lot of people like to get surgeries, like to get all this stuff. So this guest is so interesting that he's going to explain all of these different techniques and things that's going to make us better, where we don't always have to turn this to surgery to get the look or whatever that you might need, that you desire, if you will. So I want everybody to tune in. If you want to be part of this conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. You know, so I tell you, Dr. Palmer, Facebook audience is already here. And we're looking forward to having you on. You want to say anything before you get that phone call in 1 minute?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. And so I think what I want is the audience to truly learn something. My 30-year career in medicine has always been devoted in teaching. And I think an educated consumer is by far the best consumer.
Oh, yeah. So I tell you what, now you guys should be getting a phone call shortly. We're going to switch from the Zoom audio. We got it all the way down. And I'll tell you what, 18, it's like always, let's do it.
Okay. All right. I'm doing great. How are you? No worries. It's down. I think we're good. Okay.
Dr. Palmer? Dr. Palmer? Okay, he's down.
Hey, Noah, can you hear me? Noah.
Hi, Noah.
Hey, we're all set, Michelle.
Okay.
They're more aligned with communist China than they are with American freedoms and values. And now,
Oh, that's okay, my friend. I just wanted to make sure that we were there. Just wanted to make sure that we were there. That's all.
Another side of the times, according to Dobbs, the effort to impose
How your day been
vaccine
going? I
mandates on
already
American
know.
workers who could lose their
Businessman
jobs if
in
they
radio.
refuse. It's a terrible moment. But I think it is a transitory moment in American history. Dobbs was interviewed by the Saliva.
Sometimes it's like that, my friend. What happened?
Prices for U.S. consumers jumping 6.8% in November compared with a year earlier. Surging costs of food,
No.
energy,
Can you hear
housing,
me?
and more. One of these
Okay, I
stories
was
at
just making sure because I thought maybe we had
is a monthly subscription box.
I might have hit something and disconnected. So we still there.
Make.com/radio now and save on your first box.
And I'm not going to tell you that I made the best gumbo on record today, Noah.
Biden-fueled inflation soaring this year. Those stories next. By now, you know that MyPillow doesn't have their box stores or
I know
any
that, my
shopping
friend,
channels
but
any longer due to the cancel culture. Well, Mike Lindell is now passing along those savings directly to you.
my
Right
boys
now,
are over there chowing down right now.
History of MyPillow for their
Gumbo
classic
and
standard
lumpia.
MyPillow, regularly $69.98, now only $19.98 with promo
But you know what? When I
Dobbs.
come back,
Also have queen size
I'm gonna make sure that I make
$79.98,
something for you. You got my word.
now
If I tell you I'm gonna do something.
$24.98 with promo code Dobbs. MyPillow is not just pillows. They have
Okay.
over 150
You know, so-
products, everything from
But hold on one
sleepwear to
second.
beds. And my
Hey,
promo
hey,
code
Josh,
Dobbs
come here.
also works on mystore.com and Frank's.
How do you like the gumbo
Go
so
to
far?
mypillow.com or call
What about you, Jay?
1-877-9152.
Did you hear him?
Promo code Dobbs to take advantage of Mike's special offer
Oh,
on his
man.
standard MyPillow.
And
That's
this my famous
mypillow.com.
5-meat
Promo
gumbo.
code
5-meat
Dobbs
gumbo.
from 1-800-977-9152.
I put crab.
Consumer
I
prices
put
jumped
sausage. I put
6.8% in
chicken.
November
I
compared
put
with a year ago.
shrimp.
Costs for food,
I put
energy, housing, and other
lobster.
items
I
surged,
put
leaving Americans with the highest annual inflation rate since 1982. Biden-fueled
Well,
inflation
so it's
is
there, my
intensifying
friend. It's
pressure
there.
on consumers, especially
But,
lower-income
hey, man,
households trying to buy everyday necessities. By the way, remember President Biden's tax and spend bill that he claimed would cost
Never,
$2 trillion?
have
The
tasted,
Congressional
but I've
Budget
never made
Office
it.
says if spending increases in the bill are made permanent, which radical Dems intend to do,
Don't even
it
know what
would
the
literally
ingredients is,
cost
but I will
$9
check it out.
trillion. Despite inflation fears, stocks closed
10
higher
seconds,
today. The
okay.
Dow Jones Industrial's up 216 points. Please join me
You got
each
the guests,
weekday for my
both guests on,
updates
right?
right here on this station. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded. It's Your Life. It's sponsored by James J.C. Cooley. Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the James Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to It's Your Life from James Cooley. And wow, Noah, it's been a wonderful week. As you know, I'm in California. I just saw you in studio the other day, and but I am ready to go home back to Texas to see my beautiful wife and my absolutely gorgeous dog, Bella. So
I'm just glad I only got to see your smiling face once in studio this week, my friend.
man, you know, I want to be in studio every day, man, but you know, my sons are here and
Understand completely. And
and I have to spend that time with them. So
I'm glad at least two of them get the gumbo.
they are enjoying the 5 meat gumbo. No, I'm telling you, this is some good gumbo, and actually, I'm looking at the back of them right there at the table. They are still grubbing. And I think they're 20 minutes off into that. You know, so how's your day been, my friend?
Been good, and you know, it's a Friday. It's a little. I'm probably sure it's the same in Temecula. It's cloudy and dreary here, but I'm ready for the weekend.
Well, hold on. What day you said it was?
Well, we're headed into the weekend, so it's got to be.
It's Friday.
Friday. Boy, this is one of the wow moments, man. It's Friday. It would be Friday. It's Friday night. I think we should say it's Friday.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I meant to.
Michelle has a different way to do
Well,
it.
you know, I'm getting ready to introduce my great co-host, and you know, she's never going to beat my intro on a Friday. You know, so you know, you gave her a pass. You know, so you gave her a pass. So, Michelle, how are you doing today?
It's Friday. I tried. Sorry.
I'm glad we got a doctor on the show tonight because I think she's gonna need some.
The doctor's
some
going to
talking
side
to.
with me. I'm
Yeah, I'm too
always
smart,
right.
James. I'm going to side with her. Sorry.
Okay. So you heard what Dr. Palmer said. He's gonna side with her, but I tell you, we got this fantastic guest here tonight, man, and I cannot wait to chat with him because you know what we're going to talk about today, Noah?
Yeah, something that we all can't get away from, no matter how hard we try. We can kind of push it back a little, which is also what we're discussing. But age is the topic at hand.
Age is a topic at hand, and this great doctor is going to tell us how we can knock off 10 years without any surgery or any of that type of stuff, because you know, especially where we are in LA, San Diego, Hollywood, that's a common thing. And so our listening audience, I tell you, we're getting ready to introduce this great guy. But if you want to be part of this conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Michelle, I can't take it any longer. Can you please tell our listening audience the topic and the purpose of today's show?
Well, the topic of today's show is no surgery required to knock off a decade. And the purpose of the show tonight is getting to know the background of world-renowned board-certified facial plastic surgeon, Dr. Francis Palmer, discuss how people can achieve anti-aging from the inside out, learn about the difference between chronological and biological age, talk about what is AKG and CAAKG. I'm interested to know about that.
I'm interested in knowing about all of those things. So I'll tell you, can you introduce this great guest to our listening audience?
My pleasure. Dr. Francis Palmer is a world-renowned board-certified facial plastic surgeon and author of What's Your Number? With more than 3 decades of practical experience in medicine. His aesthetic vision and surgical expertise has attracted an array of international clientele, including celebrities, royalty, and world leaders who trust him to improve and rejuvenate their appearance through his unique knowledge of cutting-edge techniques and state-of-the-art technology. After many successful years, Dr. Francis Palmer retired his knife and closed his Beverly Hills plastic surgery practice to focus his time and expertise on helping people achieve anti-aging from the inside out using advanced clinically studied nutraceuticals. He consults as Chief Medical Officer for Ponce de Leon Health, a company dedicated to developing drug-free solutions scientifically proven to extend overall longevity while simultaneously increasing health span and reducing biological age for better health. An honors graduate of San Diego State University, Palmer received his medical degree from the University of California, Irvine. Following his residency at USC LA County Medical Center, he completed a fellowship with the American Academy of Facial Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery and is board certified in that specialty. He's a frequent expert on major media outlets, including CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox News Channel, The View, Dr. Phil, Entertainment Tonight, Allure, USA Today, and many more. The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, proudly welcomes Dr. Francis Palmer to the show.
Dr. Palmer. It's an absolute
pleasure. Did I do all that? That's amazing. She said everything. I have nothing else to say.
Oh, well, we're gonna pull some things out of you. So it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show, and I really appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule to come on the show to educate, our listening audience. So, Dr. Palmer, I want to start off with, can you share with our listening audience where you grew up and a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in a blue-collar family in the suburbs of Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia. And for many years, I was a business major. I went to a junior college in Bucks County and then decided, like all the other kids that used to go down to Florida during spring break, I thought, I don't know, the weather there is a whole lot better than the weather in Philadelphia. I think I want to get out. And so I applied to the University of Miami to transfer as a junior, and they said, well, we have a 2-year waiting list. I said, I don't think so. So San Diego State said, come on out. I went to San Diego. I got there. I convinced 2 friends to move with me. I remember when I drove there, James, I looked around and said, I think I'm in heaven. I'm not sure I'm ever going to leave. The weather's beautiful. The girls are even more beautiful. And so I'm not going back. So my family said, how is it? And I said, I have good news and bad news. Good news is fantastic. Bad news, I'm not coming home.
That kind of reminds me of a movie that the guy said, he called and said, hey, guess what? I hope the kid's okay, but other thing, I ain't never coming home.
I'm never coming back. No. And so the question is, how did I wind up in medicine? To support myself, I actually started a painting contract business. And before I was almost even shaving, I was doing contracts on these multi-story exterior buildings. And I think in business, I got to the point where at San Diego State, I had to take some science classes as a senior to actually graduate. And I started to take science. I thought, wow, I really love this. Like, I don't like this a little bit. I really love this. Next thing I knew, I'm the president of the Pre-Med Society at San Diego State. And I completely redid 3 years nonstop because I didn't need any of the other GE creds. all I did was science-based stuff. I used to take my work clothes to school. I'd set up the jobs in the morning, had a crew working. I'd go do my stuff, go back and work. And I got into UC Irvine, and the rest is history.
Wow. What you just stated was through hard work and determination and a desire to achieve whatever goal that might be that a person might have, that if they work hard enough and they believe in themselves,
right,
they can achieve it. And you are a walking testimony for that. But I tell you, we're going to take a station break, but I cannot wait to get back and continue our conversation with this great Dr. Palmer. If you want to be part of the conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. I'm James Cool. We will be back shortly after the break.
Stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. Noah Dingley here, producer of
Hey, Noah, my man.
the new audio
Noah, can you hear me?
book, Country Boy.
Okay, I got the first question. Michelle got two. You got two.
James shared his true life story of
Oh,
struggle with
yeah.
success
So,
in America.
man, I'm liking this guy, man.
And a roadmap
It's great.
to achieving the American dream. It's the new audio version of
Yes,
Country Boy,
please.
City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet by James. James has got the first one, and you're coming up with two, and then I got two.
Okay, thanks, Noah.
You got it. Started in October of 2014, the J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many
No, I'm
exciting
stepping away for about 30
this
seconds.
year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow, and we rely heavily on the generosity of individuals and business owners for support. Without the assistance of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet. The true life coming of age story by James J.C. Cooley. Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural deep south town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggles to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Imagine doing one thing that gave you an entirely different perspective about your place in the world. I'm Dinesh D'Souza, inviting you to join me for a 10-day Stand with Israel tour in November of 2022. You'll gain first-hand insight into Israel's fascinating past and promising future. Walk the ancient temple steps and touch the Western Wall. Sail on the Sea of Galilee. Book this tour today. Call 855-565-5519 or book online at standwithisraeltour.com.
The United States was killed Osama bin Laden hours after that announcement. The White House leaked that it was SEAL Team 6 that carried out the operation. Al-Qaeda placed bounties on the heads of all Navy SEALs. Then just 3 months later, a U.S. Army helicopter carried many from SEAL Team 6 and others. Anybody out there with a fallen angel, roger. Fallen angel, extortion 17. Story most Americans don't know. Watch it exclusively at SalemNow.com. 96.1 North County and AM 1170 San Diego. The Answer. It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Now, here's your host, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I tell you, we got this fantastic guest on tonight, Dr. Francis Palmer. And world renowned, and I'm just thrilled that he took the time to come on my show. And over the years, he's been doing a lot of great things to help people out. And I mean, I just like Hollywood. We talked about it. I wasn't joking. That happens all the time in
All the
Hollywood.
time. It does all the time, all the time, all the time, all day long, all the time.
All day long. And but he is going to educate us on, a potential different prospect of achieving your goals without going under the knife. So that's always important if we don't have to go into surgery per se. So listen, audience, if you want to be part of this great conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Dr. Palmer, so you were talking about medical school and you're talking about all of these things. But I tell you what age was you when you decided that I want to be a doctor, I want to be a plastic surgeon, I want to do these things? Because we don't always wake up and born to think those things.
No, not at all. In fact, I remember I would go on interviews in medical school because I was 5 years older than everybody else. So I have a couple important stories. One was, I remember I was probably about 26 at this point. I was close to finishing all my pre-med, but I still had a lot of heavy lifting to do. And I've been doing it pretty tough for a couple of years. I remember trying to say to myself, do I really want to try to do this? Because it's not easy getting into medical school. It's very difficult. And I said, I know this sounds silly because, I'm much older than 40 now, but I said, the reason I'm going to do it is I don't want to be 40 someday and ask myself, I wonder what would have happened if I would have gone to medical school. So I soldiered on, I did do it. And it's amazing because I was 5 years older, I quickly was able to focus on what I liked and didn't like. And I remember looking at surgical journals as, a pre-med student. And at that time, the big surgery was to replace a thumb with the large toe. And it transformed these people's lives because you can't do anything with this. You could do everything with that. And I thought that kind of impact is what I want. And I remember standing in line the first day of medical school, you're all standing in line. You're all scared to death because you really don't believe that you should be there. It's so difficult to get in. And I remember everybody said, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Nobody would say anything. And they said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be a plastic surgeon. And they said, how do you know? And I said, I know because I'd like to be a surgeon, but I don't think my soul could take a high mortality rate. I'd love to be a cardiothoracic surgeon, but I don't think my soul could take, at that point, most of the patients died. I said, so I'm going into plastic surgery. Here's an article. This is the kind of stuff I want to do. And I never looked back, but I was 27 when I started medical school. And when I was in residency, a lot of times the people that were giving me orders were younger than me. And so it became kind of a joke. I said, how old do you think I am? And they would say something. I said, well, I'm 5 years older than that. I'm actually older than you. And it was interesting. One guy was a head trauma surgeon. I actually was on the case on call at UC Irvine the day they admitted that poor child, the dad set on fire. I was the person that admitted and saw him first in the emergency room. And a trauma surgeon said one time when he was saying that, I said, I'm actually older than you. He started to open up the doors for me. And he said, I'm going to give you the respect that you, and usually didn't get it. It's like the Army. You're in the Army. You know exactly what it's like, right? That's like the general saying to the corporal, okay, come on. You're cool. So it was interesting.
Wow. Dr. Francis, so you are world renowned for your work as a plastic surgeon. How has your focus changed now when it comes to anti-aging strategies and leaving your Beverly Hills plastic surgery practice behind?
Yeah. So, without knowing my full background, people would think, oh, would you wake up one day and decide to do this? But really, for 2 decades, I've been involved in research and development in numerous products and patents in the medical device, the pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, and cosmeceutical industry. So I'm well versed in all of these things. And to me, the challenge of discovery and doing clinical trials and doing things to make things work is really challenging. So this is just the latest. It's not the newest, it's not the first. I have a long list of things that I've worked on. My goal on everything is to get involved with things I think really make an impact. So I realized in surgery that I probably would never, less than 1% of the world's population ever has any type of plastic surgery. But there's at least 99% of the other population where you could bring things that would help a large number of people. Like this product we're going to talk about today in the study. Take, the old adage, take 2 pills and call your doctor in the morning. But what if you take 2 pills? You don't have to call me in the morning. You wake up and you feel 10 years younger. That's cool.
What is the difference between chronological age and biological age?
Yeah, so chronological age is real simple. How old are you? And just take today's date, subtract your birth date. That's your chronological age. Biological age is how old do you act? And I'm not talking about your behavior. I'm talking about how old do the cellular processes and biological processes in your body act? Do they act younger than your age? Do they act the same age? Or do they act much older, which obviously is not good? So this is one time when you would like to act immature, because your biological functions being at a younger age means you're going to have a longer period where you're in an optimal health.
Hey, Dr. Francis, producer Noah here. How do you determine your biological age?
Yeah, so it's really simple. There are multiple ways that you can do it. A lot of them entail blood tests. I think the simplest is a company called TruMe, T-R-U-M-E, and they have a simple at-home saliva test that measures the methylation patterns in your DNA. And research has shown that methylation of the DNA is well correlated with biological age. So basically, you just put a little saliva in a circle on a card, you send it away, and they come back and say, I got good news, got news, or I got news that's not so good.
Now, on that, now that we've talked about how you determine it, what causes cells to age faster and increase your biological age, which would be that not good?
Yeah, and so I think that's great. There's really 3 large buckets that you have to think about. One is genetic, the second is biological, and the third is environmental. So genetic, your genes are a roadmap. They say your cells are going to do this, they're going to do it for this long. And if that was the whole story, we wouldn't be here today. But the other factors can contribute. So biological. So what if you have acute or chronic disease? Your genes are going to be impacted, and so is your biological age. The same can be said if you have too much or too little of a key metabolite that runs a biological function, you're also going to have an older or an increased biological age. And then environment. Do you have an active or sedentary lifestyle? Do you have a good diet or a bad diet? I mean, we know these things, right? Is your stress level good or is it horrific? And then finally, do you do things like smoke and have too much sun exposure that you know is going to create a problem? All of those will influence your biological age.
And the great, real quick follow-up, the great thing about those last 2 categories that you mentioned is those are things that we can change once we realize, hey, maybe I'm not doing the best in those 2 areas, and I could definitely bring my biological age down a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we could do. In fact, the book I published in 2009, it's called What's Your Number? The Palmer Code. And it started out to be a book about the way that I see beauty, and I have patents, and there are 2 formulas for beauty. I own the patents and discovered one of them. And when I wrote the book, I said, okay, here's your outside appearance and what you can do, but there's a vast array of things that you can do that influence the inside that also influence your appearance. So this is the old adage, you look as good as you feel as good as you look. You cannot separate the 2.
Wow. I want to go back a little bit because you mentioned the chronological and the biological age, and which one of those are more important? I mean, is there one more important?
No, I mean, there's a clear winner. Ding, 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 clear winner. It's not even close. And so everybody says 60 is the new 40. Well, what the heck does that mean? 60 is still 60. 60 means, it means that if you feel 40 in your biological age and biological function say you're 40, that's obviously fantastic. So that's what that means. They don't tell you that, but that's exactly what it means. So
Wow.
obviously biological age being younger is a big deal.
Oh, absolutely. One quick question before we go to the break. Can diet and exercise help reduce the biological age and also help increase the spirit mentally, physically, and emotionally?
Well, look, absolutely. All these things I think are important. Things as simple as positive attitude, I think will help. Diet and exercise do work. There was a study published in Aging that saw a modest, so a 2-year reduction in biological age. However, these people were in a 12-month comprehensive program where they had diet restrictions, they had sleep restrictions, where they had to get 7 hours of sleep minimum. They had to do strenuous activity and exercise 5 times a week. They had to take probiotics and supplements and all kinds of things, and it reduced their biological age by 2 years. We're going to talk about a study where you took 2 pills and you increased it by 8 years. So which would you rather do?
Wow, I'll tell you, we're going to take a station break, but I want to come back. And I want to talk about some of the recommendations for as dietary pills. I'm talking about for probiotics and others that you might recommend. If you want to be part of this great conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. I'm James Cooley, and we'll be back shortly after the break.
To help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. There is much truth in a journey.
Noah, my great producer.
All of us journey through life.
Okay, so I'm going to come back. I'm going to finish up about the recommend dietary vitamins or whatever. And then I'm going to ask another question. Then you ask the question, Michelle. Then we go 1-1-1-1. So I got the first 2, finishing up 1 and this one. Then you, then Michelle, then that's the rotation I want to go for the rest of the segment. Okay.
James is going to finish up this question, then he's going to ask one more, and then I'm asking one, and then you, and then he says until the end of the segment, we'll just keep going in that order, just one apiece.
Okay.
Thank you.
And overcome the conflict. Better and a more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of my book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet on Amazon and wherever audiobooks are sold. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Josh.
Noah Dingley here, producer of the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
I heard the Federal Reserve may raise interest rates. Yes, in fact, mortgage rates have already started to bump on the rumors. That's why we just refinanced with Owning. We got a 30-year fixed 2.5% rate, 2.731 APR. And we also took thousands out in cash to use for a bunch of other things. Owning made the whole process fast and easy. Wait up, check please. I'm going to call Owning and lock in my refi now.
Call owning at 8332-owning, or go to owning.com and lock in a 30-year fixed refi at today's 2.5% rate, 2.731 APR. That's 8332-owning or owning.com.
NMLS 2611, licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation and the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, subject to credit approval for qualified borrowers. Call 833-303-2161 for terms and conditions. Equal housing lender.
Call owning at 8332-owning or log on to owning.com. That's 8332-owning or owning.com. The Answer, San Diego, streaming now on smart speakers and odyssey.com.
It's time to dream big, think big, and be big. It's time for more It's Your Life. Now, here's your host, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. Now we got this fantastic guests that are really educating our listener audience. And I'll tell you, listener audience, if you ever had a question about aging or anything that might prevent you or might get you over the hump or might slow down the aging process, we got world-renowned Dr. Francis Palmer here to answer any questions that you may have that you might be afraid to ask, but you get the opportunity on the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And so that's 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Dr. Palmer, as we was closing, getting ready for the break, I mentioned to you about dietary vitamins and things that might help slow down the aging process, but Father Time is going to be up on us. But we can fight back as much as we can if we do the right things. Can you tell our listener audience a little bit about what is your recommendation?
Yeah. So I think everything in moderation, and if it's reasonable, it's probably reasonable. So the thing about vitamins and supplements is, you can imagine, this research has literally exploded. I remember when I was a biology major at San Diego State, I was reading articles that were just cutting edge in the scientific journals about the anti-aging and health benefits of vitamin C. And so now there's all these other things that we're discovering. And so this article that just got published in Aging is about this calcium AKG, a proprietary version that reduced the biological age for 42 people who took it for between 4 and 10 months. So an average of 7 months. They didn't change any of their lifestyle. They didn't do any diet changes. They didn't do anything else. And their biological age was tested before and after, and it dropped by an average of 8 years. So these are the kind of things that, as a physician, we really need to do a little bit of research. So why is this so impactful? Well, we talked about this comprehensive program for a year that was able to reduce it by 2 years, which is good. But now you're talking about a supplement that reduced it in 7 months without changing anything else 4 times, so 400% more. And I think that a couple things that are really important, as people are out there and they're looking, they say, oh, this sounds good, I'm going to take this. This sounds good, I'm going to take that. The research that the company did at the Buck Institute of Aging in the Bay Area here in California showed that a lot of times when you start combining things, they actually have a detrimental effect. Not only did they not work, but they start to have a detrimental effect. So just because one thing sounds good, make sure that you understand, is it animal data or is it human data, right? Is it real world data, which means you gave it to somebody, you tested it and measured whether it did what it said it was going to do, or is it a clinical trial? And there's room for both. The clinical trial is very set up and it says, I'm going to measure this, this, and this. You can't measure anything else. And then, what was the outcome? And what do you have to do to get it? So things that require a lot of effort really have to give you a good result. Things that require a little bit of effort that give you a good result are extraordinary. That's why this is a big deal. And And I do want to make sure that people know they can go check out my website, and we'll do all that stuff later. But this was a proprietary blend of AKG. AKG's been around forever. It was used by bodybuilders to rebuild muscle. It's only the specific combination that's mixed with various vitamins, vitamin A for men, vitamin D for women, because research showed us that that was more, increased its effect. So you're only going to get it through the company. You're not going to get it on the internet. You're going to get regular AKG.
Wow.
Wow.
I want to learn a little bit more about this AKG. It seems like it's fascinating.
Yeah, I know why AKG, right? So AKG, as it turns out, is made by all of our bodies. Our body makes it. And you can't get it from food. You can't get it from diet. You can't get it anywhere else. So why is it important? Well, we talked about the methylation of the DNA. Remember in the beginning, we said that's how you measure biological age. So why is that important? Well, AKG actually influences that methylation pattern. Methylation in the DNA basically is like a light switch. It shuts off the gene from functioning. If that's a gene that you need to function as you age, that gets shut off. That puts us in frailty. That puts us in, headed towards disease states. And if that can be eliminated, then obviously that's a good thing. So the problem is by the time we hit 40 and to the time that we're 80, AKG starts to drop and can drop by 10-fold. That means you could have 10% of what you need. And AKG is a key metabolite for the energy production of every cell in the body. So we're just learning all the different things that AKG can do and how it may impact biological age, which is a meter, right? That's like looking at a clock. And what we're now starting to say is, okay, what are the various processes that lead to that clock being more youthful?
Dr. Francis, I'm very curious because sometimes you hear about things, obviously, and this doesn't sound like this is what that is at all, but I'm just, very, very curious to hear about, this sounds so awesome, this particular supplement, and, you take it and you'll get this, and this. And it turns out too good to be true. As you said, some of them you take and you actually get a detrimental effect.
Yeah.
So anybody that should not be taking AKG, is there a specific group of people with health conditions where this just might not be of a benefit to them?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I think the issue is nobody should take anything unless they consult with their physician, right? So even though I'm the chief medical officer for the company, I can't give anybody any medical advice. I get asked all the time, hey, I have this, what do you think? And I said, look, you need to discuss that with your physician. I don't know you. I haven't examined you. I don't know what your medical history. I don't know what medications you're taking. So I can share with you that we're doing ongoing clinical trials at a major university, and there were no serious side effects of taking AKG after months and months and months. And so there's no reason that somebody can't be taking it. We do know, and because I'm not here to bash any other products, I would never do that. There are some products, and they can learn that information on the company website, that if you're taking these certain anti-aging products, you will not get as good a benefit of taking Rejuven, which is a calcium AKG we talked about, and the one that's in the study.
Dr. Palmer,
so there's no easy, so I understand there's no easy answer. I mean, there's no one answer for everybody. It just they have to, if there's any questions, so if they have high blood pressure, diabetes, or other medical conditions, they have to ask their physician, hey, do you know about this? Here's the article. What do you think if I take it? There's no way around it.
Dr. Palmer, can you share with our listeners how to test their biological age with a simple saliva at home test?
Yeah, so you can go to TrueMe, TRUME.com, and you can just order the test. They'll send it to your house. They'll give you instructions. You open it up, you take a little bit of saliva, you put it in the circle, you let it dry, you send it away to them, and they'll do your DNA testing for the methylation patterns, and they'll send you a result of your biological age. It's about as simple as you can get.
What is the cost of this test? Because I know we probably got a lot of listeners sitting back.
Yeah, you know what? You put me on the spot because because it's not our company. I don't actually know exactly what it is. I'm going to guess like 100 and something. I don't know what it is. I think it's less than the blood tests. The other ones require you do a finger prick and you put blood. I think those are more expensive, but I think it's somewhere around there.
So do you get a number in age, or
Unfortunately, you do. There's no messing around. Okay, you're 65. Your biological age says you're 68. So go have a good cry. Or congratulations, yours is 45. It gives you an age. Yes, it does.
Hey, Noah, I know you. I think I am a little nervous, but I want to take the test. So I'm about to get some more information because I'm going to take the test. So doctor, you got me curious now. So I'll tell you what, we got to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to continue this great conversation on how old you are. No, I'm joking. On how to knock a decade off without surgery. And we got the great Dr. Francis Palmer. If you want to be part of the conversation, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. I'm James Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley. The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started.
I am too, but I think I want to.
Is to strive to expand its programs and offerings.
Okay. Okay, so no, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to bring the show back.
We hope that you'll be able to
Michelle got the first question. You got the next question, then me. And then we'll go from there. Depending on how much time we got.
Our mission to equip the youth of today.
James says you're up first. He'll bring it back. You're up first, and then me, and then he'll go, and then we'll just.
And we might be getting a call in.
Okay, Noah.
Thank you. Be able to serve our youth each year. Yes, you make a commitment to support our
probably getting a call in on this one. I'm stepping away for 1 minute. I'll be right back. I'm stepping away for 1 minute.
You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference, regardless of size. J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet. The true life coming of age story by James J.C. Cooley. Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural deep south town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Dinesh D'Souza can teach you a thing or two.
Where have we heard that before? Well, the first time I really heard it was during the hostage crisis. Remember? Jimmy Carter, in which this superpower, America, is just being humiliated day after day after day. Well, those days are here again.
The Dinesh D'Souza podcast, available on SalemPodcastNetwork.com and everywhere podcasts are heard. They're the cultural warriors fighting the good fight to save America. These people are nominated by Salem listeners who want to honor them for all they're doing to make America great. Ron DeSantis, Governor of Florida. Mike Lindell, founder of Fight Fellow. Jason Whitlock, columnist, podcaster, and digital TV host. Carl Jackson, political columnist, commentator, and radio talk show host. Molly Hemingway, author, columnist, and political commentator. Glenn Youngkin, newly elected governor of Virginia. Go to our website and click on the banner to vote for Salem's Culture Warrior of the Year. Vote today. Visit theanswersandiego.com. Streaming now at theanswersandiego.com and odyssey.com.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I tell you, wow, that last segment was extremely interesting. And I am so curious that Dr. Palmer, I have to have the way for me to order that test. So I know you just mentioned it a few minutes ago, but I was thinking, how old am I? Physically, chronologically, mentally.
Well, it's going to be how well you've been treating your wife, I think, is going to determine that.
Oh,
Well,
I knew I liked you, Dr. Palmer, from the
Yeah.
moment I met you on
There you
screen.
go.
and you know that means I'm probably 6 years old because I've been treating her very, very well.
Good for you. Good.
You know,
That's fantastic. So there's two things I want to give you. One is the biological test. The other is the company name where you can learn and order the product. If you order the product, you will automatically get 2 tests. If you sign up for whatever the program is, you'll get one in the beginning, and then you'll get one 6 months later, because it takes the body approximately 3 months to really go through this rejuvenating effect inside for your biological age. I know everybody wants it to be instant and you think the body's a light switch, but it's very complicated and it takes longer. So the product's called Rejuvant, REJUVANT, and the website is Rejuvant, REJUVANT.com. The biological test is listed there because it's one of the things that we provide. We don't own the company, but we just use it as a biological test. It's TRUME.com.
Wow.
And if
Dr.
you forget,
Palmer.
go to drpalmer.com. It's listed on there. That's pretty simple.
Thank you, Dr. Palmer. Dr. Palmer, with any clinical studies and research, especially anything that's new and different, have you come across any skeptics or received any pushback regarding any of the clinical studies regarding this this product? And can you tell us about that?
This study was just published the end of November, but there's always somebody who's going to be skeptical, and they have the right to be. They should be. And I think the things to take away from this study, again, that I keep emphasizing, one, it's human data. So when you're buying something that says there's all this clinical data, read the fine print, because it might be mouse data. And we've done lots of mouse data too, but guess what? We're not mice. And so it's better to see human data. And I think real world data was a lot of pharmaceutical companies do. That means you go and you give it in real situations. Clinical trials, we're doing those as well. I think all of those things are great. And again, the bottom line, if you have any question and you're not sure, do the research on the product and then go ask your physician. I mean, you still need to do that.
I'm very curious, and I'm definitely going to do a little research on my own. I know you say it takes about 3 months for the effects to really start to be noticed. So on that, how long, is this something that you have to continue to take ongoing, or do you reach a certain point it takes your body through a certain process and then you can stop taking it at that point?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We're trying to learn that, and that's a whole body of research. So people can get lost in this maze of anti-aging research at a really high level, and the answer is nobody really knows. And what we do know, and what I can share with you, is you start taking Rejuvant, what you'll probably feel somewhere around 3 weeks, you'll feel this sudden increase in focused energy. So I'm a surgeon trained to use focused energy. James is in the military. He understands what focused energy is. It's not nervous energy like an energy drink. That means you have laser focus ability, and you'll see that. I think that's one of the things that you'll feel. What I'm talking about is it takes time to affect the DNA methylation patterns, which are reflective of your biological age. So that's going to take a little longer, somewhere around 3 months. To be safe, to see you get the full effect, we suggest retesting your biological age at 6 months. Now, if you take the product for 2 years and you stop, what nobody knows, and none of the people that are willing to do this, that get a good result, they're not going to stop taking it. But if they did stop, we don't know, does it give you a steady state? And for what steady state, how long that'll exist? Your aging's not going to stop. The DNA methylation patterns aren't going to stop. So as a physician and a researcher, what I think happens, it may give you a halo period. And then after that, it's like age, it's gonna go back down. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. We have to keep up when we do exercise, same thing. You can get yourself ready to run a marathon, but you can't keep that level of fitness, right? If you stop, it's gonna go away.
Wow. You know what? I tell you that this is a very fascinating topic. And I'm certainly gonna have to revisit this one with you again because curiosity. And they say curiosity killed the cat. But I tell you, there probably is a lot of folks out there curious about this because you have to, especially if you're age conscious, and especially if you really want to delve off and learn things that could slow down the biological process. You're not going to slow down for the time.
No,
It's going to happen. So
James, you know what the idea really is here. The idea is not, we will. I'm a firm believer. We will at some point, be able to extend longevity to a huge amount. But I think what we're talking about right now with this is we want to compress the time that you're ill of health and put it as far toward the ends of life as possible. So that's what this reduction in biological age is an indication of. So you're functioning better at a youthful age, you have more energy, you feel healthy, it increases your health span and compresses the morbidity toward the end of life, where is what we all want. We all want to die in our sleep at a nice old age, right? We're happy and content, and that's it. We go be with God, and that's the end of it, right? So I think that's the way we need to look at these early stages. This isn't DNA manipulation. It's not any of that stuff, which certainly will come at some later time to get different things. But it's to compress the morbidity and increase the time that we have a good health span.
Wow. We're down to the last 2.5 minutes of the show. So we really have to be rapid fire in this one, like 30 seconds answer.
No problem.
Can you tell our listener audience real quickly about your book? What is your number? 30 seconds or less if you can.
30 seconds. So what's your number? The Palmer Code is basically my operating manual of 30 years making people look good. And it's basically a way that people can do thought exercises to see how they can improve themselves both inside and out to be the best version of themselves possible.
Yes. I think Noah got a question for you.
It was actually about his book because I love having my own show, Doctor. And one of the things that I like talking about on my show is just people's books and why they wrote it. What was the reason that you actually decided to write What's Your Number?
Well, again, I started to do this. I graduated having trained with some of the best plastic surgeons in the world. And when I went out and actually started to practice, I thought something was missing. And so I had to figure it out. I'm a Virgo. I can't do things that I don't believe in. And so after I studied for about 2 or 3 years, I said, I think I see a pattern of beauty in a female face and in a male face. And then that led me on to a journey of 30 years. And for many, many years, I wasn't looking for the pattern anymore. I was just trying to educate the public. If you're going to do something like surgery, which is invasive and expensive and has downtime, for goodness sakes, do more effort than you do in just buying a refrigerator. You need to really understand. And if you go see somebody and they can't tell you why you look the way that you do and how I'm going to make you look better in a really understandable way, they don't understand it. And so I think it's still today is powerful. And I realized writing that book, if you get my book, just read the preface, and I'm very honest, if nothing else. And it shows you how I had an epiphany writing that book, that this was your appearance and your daily activities are so intertwined, you cannot disconnect them. If you're sick, you don't look good. If you don't look good, you just don't feel good. It just is.
Wow. We down to the last like 45 seconds. Doc, real quickly, can you tell our listeners how they can get in touch with you so they can get your book and learn more about you? So we got about 20 seconds.
So the book is on Amazon. It's What's Your Number, the Palmer Code. They can go to Dr. Palmer, so abbreviation for Dr. DrPalmer.com to learn anything about me, and Rejuvant, REJUVANT for the product.
Thank you so much, Doc. It's an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I'd like to thank my co-host, Michelle Cooley, my great producer, Noah Dingley, and listening audience always. We're always looking for sponsors so we can continue to bring this great message. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. It's your life. I'm James Cooley. Everybody have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks for joining us for It's Your Life with James Cooley. To learn more about James, how you can support the show.
Oh man, I think I had 2 seconds to spare.
Dr. Palmer?
I had to because my great producer is teaching me the game, and I know I have 45 seconds.
Dr. Palmer?
Mentally, I do, and I said I cannot disappoint Noah, so I'm gonna have to talk as fast as I can.
James?
Hey man, I want him to be on your show if that's okay.
Dr. Palmer? Dr. Palmer?
Okay. I tell you what, I'm gonna call you afterward. I'm gonna make sure I call you before I go to bed. Okay. All right.
Dr. Palmer? James? Dr. Palmer? Okay. Dr. Palmer? Can you hear us? Dr. Palmer? James, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Dr. P, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Very great.
Oh,
Fantastic
my
show.
You guys are fantastic. It's easy. I mean, I didn't have to do anything hard.
Oh, no, but
It was interesting. It was very interesting.
especially the way you explain it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just wow. This was great. I'm gonna have
So
to do
James, you know what? It just amazes me because again, I've been in this very, very high level of aesthetic medicine for 3 decades. And it just amazes me at the lack of ability of people at that high level to explain things. And I just, common sense isn't common, and people need to know like this. They need to know, okay, what is it? Why do I care? And don't give me all the long names of the compounds because nobody cares. It's just explain it to me. And I think that's critical.
I think it's very critical. And I believe that. Now I'm telling you, I'm so fascinated with first of all, the topic. But a lot of people come and say that they can do this and they can do that. But the way that you explain it, Dr. P, it's logic. It's logic.
Logic.
I mean, it's logic. And I certainly want to try. I'm not going to say I'm going to buy the prescription or something like that, all that type of stuff. But I want to test it out, to see what type of results, and potentially come back and talk about that.
Yeah, you know what? And James, look, this is exactly what happened in the last interview that I had out of Florida. She said, I want to take this. I want to have you back in a month. I said, you can't do it in a month. It's got to be at least 3 months, but I'd be happy to come back and do it. So I will, if you or you have your wife send me an email, what I'll do is I'll do an email introduction to David Weldon, who's the founder's son, who runs basically, he helps me with medical affairs and customer relations. And we'll try to set you up, and I'll see if I can't get you to, have like a 3-month or 4-month supply of the product and get your testing, and then we'll come back and we'll see. There is an additional test that we want to do, James. And when you do development, you do research and you're creating things, you always learn things. So we know that there's a specific test to look at 3 of your genes, not your whole genome, only 3. And they're related to folate metabolism. It's called the MTHFR gene variant. If you have that variant, you won't be able to have full use of the rejuvenant and its demethylation properties because you're lacking in one of the B vitamins. And you can do a blood test, but we can also test it on the same saliva sample. So you're going to see that they're going to do your blood test and the MTHFR. you'll get this nice printout that says, yes, you have enough B12, but maybe you need B9, and then you take a simple methylfolate supplement along with the Rejuven. It's like an $8 supplement. I actually had it, and I started to do research because I'm leading the clinical trials and overseeing those. And somewhere around 20% of the population can have this variant. And I think it's important because not only is it important for Rejuven, but it sets you up if you have a problem with folate metabolism and you don't take the right B vitamin, you can develop other disease states later in life. So it's critical that you know that moving forward.
So this is what Michelle is going to send you an email. What exactly do you need in the email? She's going to send. I want to try this.
Just your information, and Michelle, if you want, I can set you up with it, and just I'll do an email introduction to somebody at the company that's in customer relations, and he'll need your address and stuff to mail you the stuff, and I'll just put you two in charge. And look, I'd love to come back and talk about it.
No, hey Doc, we're going to come back. I mean, unless you don't have time. Also, I want to refer you to Noah's show across the county. And he just mentioned to me, he mentioned to Noah has his own show as well. And Noah is always looking for guests like you so he can really fine tune. Noah is just San Diego only. My show is national. But Noah, if it's okay with you, can Noah send you an invite to come on his show?
Yeah, he can. The only thing I'd have him do is have him send it to Amy, that's the publicist for the company that's running all the different ones.
Okay, I can send that information, Amy's information, directly to Noah, James.
Yeah, and he can
send that information to Noah.
Yeah.
And Michelle, if possible, can you make sure that Dr. Palmer get all the information where his team can send us some samples where we can. I want to test this out because I want to have him back on this. I'll send
it to Amy.
Okay, that's where you want her to send it to Amy.
No. I'll contact Amy and give her the information of our information.
No, you send that to me directly. You have my email, don't you?
Palmer.
Okay. I didn't have your.
Noah information. You're gonna have. You're gonna send that to Amy and go through that direction. But what this information about the sampling, testing, and stuff, you send that directly to Dr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. So it's abbreviation for Dr. DR, the initial F like Francis, Palmer like the golfer. So drfpalmer@gmail.com. And I'll forward it on to the company, and I'll hook you up with the company.
And Dr. Palmer, I'm telling you, this was an absolute pleasure, sir.
No, it was a pleasure. It was my pleasure as well. You're both fantastic.
And I'm looking forward to this. I hope it doesn't come back and say I'm 96.
Well, if it does, we're gonna have another conversation. It's gonna be a different.
Well, I'm gonna be banned over.
But we won't have that one on the air. Then I want to have a conversation like, "What the heck are you doing?"
Hey, dude, I do 7 miles every day.
Then it's not going to.
I mean, every single day I get up and I do a 7 mile hike or run. And over the last 6 months, I have dropped 30 something pounds. Otherwise, my head would be covering up this camera right now. I mean, I just want. So
I think that's the other thing that we didn't get to talk about, and that's what the research that we're doing now just has shown us is the people that need this the most are the ones that get the most benefits. Rarely life is like that, and by that I mean the people that have already a worse sort of health state for their age. When they take this, they're the ones that get more than others. And if you think about it, the body is so far off its optimum state that it's got a lot of room for improvement. As that window narrows, it also narrows. And most anti-aging experts believe that's exactly how it works.
Well, sir, thanks so much. Noah is probably going to try to get you on if in the next week. So we're going to send that information to Amy. you'll be a great guest on his show. And that's all across the county in San Diego. Noah went to San Diego State, all of that type of stuff. So he wanted me to mention that to you, that he's going to be reaching out to you, but we're going to have him reach out to Amy. I think that's what
it's
the
gotta go
direction
for Amy. Yeah,
and,
perfect.
and we're going to take care of that. And sir, hey, you got our information. We got yours. Let's communicate if possible.
Yeah, perfect.
Possible. And I know
All
how
right.
busy you are. And
That's all right. I always have time for good people. Always, James.
hey,
Always.
thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir. So
Thank
I
you.
will be heading back to Texas tomorrow, but Santa Clara, how far that is from San Diego?
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. Oh, so you like 2 hours.
Yeah, 2-3 hours. I'm in LA. I'm just in a nice part of LA.
So this is what I would like to do 3 months from now, if possible. I would like to have you in studio. I mean,
I can do that.
No,
San Diego is beautiful. I love San Diego.
So we're
You're
in
in
La Jolla.
Temecula.
No. I'm talking
No.
about I'm in La Jolla Studios. I'm just doing the show at home in my home studio tonight.
Oh, okay. So your studio is normally in La Jolla.
La Jolla.
Yeah, no, I could
UTC.
I could suffer and go to La Jolla.
Oh yeah, we love La Jolla. We meet in season 52 or something like.
So I used to go snorkeling right off of the cove in La Jolla all the time.
So that's where we are at. We are in La Jolla. We're right off. You know where UTC Mall is at?
I haven't been down there in years.
Well, San Diego. I'm talking about the mall. That's
Okay.
right there.
Yeah.
And so we're directly across. So normally I'm in studio in La Jolla Studios or Dallas Studios, but I also have a home studio in Dallas and in Temecula.
Well, that's with COVID going on, it makes sense. That's smart.
Oh yeah. So sir, I ain't gonna take up too much more of your time, but thank you so much.
Oh, it was my pleasure, James. It was very enjoyable. You have a lovely wife, and you're a great guy.
Hey, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. And looking forward to, I think I'm looking forward to this test. But I tell you, we're gonna figure it out anyway, because you have to.
You have to.
In today's time, you have to figure out what's going on. So, sir, I'm not gonna take up too much more of your time. Thank you so much. Michelle will send you that information. Wonderful interview. You'll have it tomorrow. The audio, and if Zoom turn out right, you have that. You have the Facebook. We'll make sure you get that one as well.
All right.
So, hey, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, James. You have a good evening. Great weekend.
Same.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.